if you're not here, raise your hand. Okay, great. Only got a few of you. Okay, thanks for coming for our ride. We're going to trailer about 4.3 miles down the road, and then we're going to take off, and we'll have some people down there to help you. I don't know who they are yet. I'm looking over the crowd. But today's going to be a long ride. It's going to be hot, so make sure that you hydrate. You got plenty of water and stuff. Who's got medical experience here? Okay, great. Okay, we'll have radios. Those that have got radios, we've got one in front and one in back, and it's on channel 15. How many of you are on your first ride? Raise your hands high. Okay. I want you to listen really careful. The rest of you will know most of this stuff. Okay. On the ride, we have a ride leader, we have a tail gunner. If you need to stop for a restroom break or want to take a picture or something, you can stop, but don't pull off the road. I mean, don't see, oh geez, there's a trail going up into the trees. I'm going up there, because the tail gunner will go right on by. And we won't see you until we come and rescue you. So you're welcome to do that, but the tail gunner is Keith Jeffries right back here. So what we do is when we get there, we have the drop system. The drop system is in the ride leader machine, we've got green flags. If we put a green flag out to the right hand side, block that road and keep your machine in the direction that we're going, but make sure nobody goes down that road that they want to go.
That means they're here.
It's not mine, thank goodness. Anybody come down here knowing that they've got a machine problem that might kick in? Okay.
Is willing to admit it?
Yep, I'm willing to admit it.
Oh, no, that's a shadow.
Well, we have to have our extra cushion on top of our mattress. Well, at least it's cool in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't come into those.
Like there was water?
No, there was no water. They made the boats and they carted them down and sold them.
Air conditioned.
Storage room or something.
This is the workshop, yeah.
I'm surprised the door's still on the hinges. Yeah.
It is a cement.
Very well built.
Well, probably bags.
Bags,
Yeah, yeah. And a wheelbarrow.
That's cement. That's like they finished off.
Flat work is excellent.
Yeah.
And they live in their dining room.
Dig a hole in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
Okay, here's Sam's starting. All right, let's start this story. These two gentlemen, Cliff and the other was Bill. They ended up building these caves. The first one they built the boats in, sold them for the Colorado River, people that raft on the river. The middle one is the one they lived in. If you go inside and look up in the ceiling, you'll see a stovepipe hole that goes clear out the top where they had a wood stove. And there might be another one in here, but this one has concrete and this one has concrete. When I was a little boy, my dad brought me down. We went in there and, you know, they were smoking bull durhams and tall, lanky, skinny guys like Jerry. And that's tall parts, not true. The bull durham part, though.
That's the true part, yeah.
So, and now I know you're my friend. Anyway, on the one wall, they had a wall of batteries, like car batteries, and that's how they, somehow they kept them charged off their vehicle or something. They had a system where they could run their engine and keep batteries charged. This was their workshop here. You go in and you can see it may still be in there, a piece of equipment that's bolted to the concrete. It would do something like crush the rocks and stuff. Down off the hill here a little ways, they had a setup where they could take their car up to it, take a tire off, and hook onto a tumbler and run their car off the rear end, and that would tumble and polish the rocks. It's still down there. It's in pieces, but it's just right over here off the edge there. So, but when my dad brought me in, as I remember, it was like a rainy, wet evening, and to me, this place was immaculate. It was almost like this was pavement. They had it just well groomed. They had rocks along the side. They used to tear the old car down once a year. We were told they tore it down, everything piece by piece, and put it back together just to give them something to do. They would come to Escalante, I was told, once a week. I've heard once a month, rent a motel room, have a bath. Melvin Brooks told me that he hired them in the summertime to come up to their farm and move sprinklers for them, just so they had a little bit of money. So they never got rich, obviously. When we first started coming here, there was their clothes, there was old cans, there was letters from grandma, grandpa, there was birthday cards. You know, it's all been cleaned out. We brought our Boy Scouts here. We've stayed in these a couple times, just camped, and one of those wood beds, you know, I gotta admit, I slept on one of those. So, anyway.
Precious one.